Amid a wave of Middle East peace deals, Iran now faces a return to an arms embargo pushed by the U.S. One America's chief White House correspondent, Rion, reports.
The Trump White House is gearing up for a showdown with the UN Security Council over Iran. President Trump's position is that America and the world must block Iran from buying dangerous weapons. The UN Security Council, however, disagrees, arguing they want to let the arms embargo expire on October 18, at which point the Iranian regime will be allowed to buy weapons on the world market. Spokeswoman for the State Department, Morgan Ortagus, tells One American News the Trump White House refuses to let this happen.
That was an embargo that had been in place for over 13 years. And this embargo was against Iran being able to buy conventional weapons from anyone, but especially from states like Russia and China. As a part of the failed Iran nuclear deal that President Trump withdrew from, that was set to expire in October. So President Trump and Secretary Pompeo said there is no way that we can allow for this arms embargo to expire.
President Trump announced in August the U.S. would push to have sanctions on Iran snap back. That is, allow Iran's sanctions to return to where they were before Obama's Iran nuclear deal.
If anything, Iran has been emboldened under this deal. They continue to wreak havoc in the Middle East on their neighbors. They attack Iraq. They've attacked Iraqi bases. They've gone after our embassy through their Shia militias. So there's no one in the world that could say with a straight face, except maybe for Russia and China, that Iran should be able to purchase these conventional weapons.
Those in the UN who oppose the Iranian weapons ban argue the U.S., having pulled out of the Obama-Iran deal known as the JCPOA, is not eligible to force Iran's sanctions to snap back.
We are abiding by the UN Security Council resolution. When we withdrew from the failed Iran nuclear deal, we put U.S. United States sanctions back on Iran. By invoking the snapback sanctions in the Security Council, 2231 is the resolution, we are requiring United Nations sanctions now to come back. These are the sanctions that President Obama released under the failed nuclear deal.
Remarkably, while the UN opposes the Iran weapons sanctions, Ortagus says rival countries in the Middle East stand with the U.S. here.
What viewers don't know is, there was a big rift in the countries called the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council, between Saudi, UAE, and Qatar. They haven't been. This is sort of like a family rift, right? They haven't been speaking together at all for years, for at least 4 years, if not 5 now. For the first time, they came together to issue a statement in support of what we were trying to do, which is to extend this arms embargo against Iran.
Ortagus adds, while the UN partners may be taking a public stance, in private, they show a different side.
What we hear privately, behind the scenes, often from our European counterparts, and I am in those meetings with Secretary Pompeo, people agree that Iran is not abiding by the failed nuclear deal. They agree that Iran shouldn't have these weapons, but they have been unwilling to stand with America. And that's okay, because President Trump and Mike Pompeo will stand alone if needed in order to do the right thing.
Elliot Abrams, special envoy to Iran, argues by triggering the snapback mechanism, he is confident the U.S. can unilaterally reinstate sanctions on Iran. Quote, the arms embargo will now be reimposed indefinitely, and other restrictions will return, including the ban on Iran engaging in enrichment and reprocessing related activities. Rion, One American News, the White House.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.